So good morning and welcome to our class. We can go ahead and start by finding a nice comfortable seat and we'll begin together. So we were just saying before we started, there's a lovely quote by Jesus Christ. Blessed are the pure in heart, for they shall see God. And I think this is a perfect way to start our class this morning, which is to tune in with the energy of the heart and to see what's happening in your heart this morning. So let's go ahead and close down the eyes. Find a nice comfortable seat where you can sit tall in your spine, palms facing up. Let the breath begin to circulate through the nose, in and out. And let's draw some deep breaths in through the nose, and we're going to draw that breath to fill the space of the heart. And when you're ready to exhale, exhale through the mouth and let any energy that's ready to release out of the heart. We're going to really work with purifying this center. So let's do it together. Deep breath in. Full exhalation through the mouth. Again. Breathing into the heart and exhaling from the heart. One more time. All the breath out. Let's draw the hands together and we'll rub them. Generate a little bit of friction between the palms. Good. And then place the hands over the heart and just do a few circles here. Keep breathing deeply through the nose into the heart. You can reverse the circles whenever you're ready. And then just let the hands rest for a moment over the heart. Let's take an inhale as if to float upward, like you're a balloon floating into the sky. So deep breath and float the body upward. Good, and then exhale, you can just relieve, hands over the heart. And we'll start with a chant this morning. Get us in the right frame of mind for our class. Thou art the Let's enjoy a moment together, joining thumb and pinkies together, middle fingers extending out to make the shape of a flower, and we'll place that right at the center of the heart. And feel that all of the petals of your heart flower are turned upward in aspiration, greater devotion and attunement. You can fold the flower back to hands in prayer. We'll take a deep breath and reach the arms out overhead and spread the palms out along the circumference of the body all the way down. And again, keeping upward rising energy, join the hands to the center of the body, rising all the way up. And then exhaling down one more time. Inhaling to rise up. Exhaling to expand your field of awareness, your field of energy. And you can gently open the eyes and we'll start our practice this morning. So let's go ahead and we'll come up to standing position. You can rise as you're ready to. Good. Let's just take the hands onto the hips and we'll do a little bend of the knees, and we're going to circle the body a few times around, just getting into the low spine. Try to keep the hips steady and move only the upper body, and then reversing. And let's move right up the spine. We'll go ahead and just go side to side, sort of squeezing along the sides of your spine, waking the body up. Good. And then joining soft fists into the base of the spine. We're going to take a deep breath in. When you're ready to exhale, go ahead and push up and in. Come on to the tips of the toes and then relax. And you move just a little higher up the spine. And keep repeating this process. So inhaling. Exhale to push up and in. And you move a little bit higher. You might have one more round. Good. And then hands under the shoulders, circling forwards first. You got a nice little circling going here. And then reverse. Make sure you move the whole shoulder joint too, not just the elbows. Good. All right, let's free the hands down, little bend of the knees. You can inhale and circulate the arms up above the head. Exhale, palms facing down. Bathe the whole body as you go towards the earth. You can rise and lift halfway by pressing off of your thighs, lengthening your spine. And then exhaling to fold back forwards. Let's stand through the spine. So press off of your thighs, squeeze your belly and your low back, and just inhale and stand through a straight spine. Arms all the way up. Good. Exhale, hands come down and around. Let's just check in with our legs. You can take hands on your hips and raise one of your legs and circle out your foot and your ankle. Good. And try to keep a little tension so that there's focus when you're spiraling the foot here. Good. And then opening and closing the toes a few times. Point and flex. Good. Let's try the other side. Good. Just a little bit of circling to start, and then pointing, flexing, squeezing toes, releasing. Beautiful. And let's shift back to the other side. We're just going to circle this foot around. Keep it low to the ground, and your whole leg is active. This is for your hips. Reverse. And then try the other side. It can be helpful to point through the heel so the whole leg stays sort of sharp and engaged. Good. Let's go ahead in our first position. We're just going to unfold our hands in front of the body, bend the knees, and slide down into chair pose. Hips stay underneath the shoulders, and there's the option to lift onto the balls of the feet. And you go as low as your body's ready to. Find the point where the body has to work a little bit. And we'll join with the affirmation. My body is no burden. I am light as air. My body is no burden. I am light as air. If you need to come out of the pose, just inhale, send the arms up, take a little moment of rest. Good, and then exhale, come right back in. Choose the version that you're ready for. My body is no burden, I am light as air. Good, nice strong toning through the legs. When you're ready, you inhale and come back up to a long spine, arms above the head, and exhale, rest the arms by the sides. Let's close the eyes and just take a moment to feel energy moving through the body. Putting your focus at the point between the two eyebrows, gently gazing upward. My body is no burden, I am light as air. Gently open the eyes. Let's inhale, send the arms up overhead. Take another reset here. So you can, let's draw the hands down through the body. And you're going all the way back to the earth. And then you inhale, come through a halfway lift or a long spine. And then exhale to slide back down. Bend the knees deep and press off of your thighs. Squeeze your belly and your low back. And stand up through your spine. Feel that wonderful strength. Arms all the way up above. Good. And exhale, hands coming down. We're going to come into the dancer's pose. So you might start by just pointing the right toes into the earth and joining the hands in the heart. So the easiest version here is just to extend your left arm forwards. If anyone can reach back and catch the ankle, this takes us a bit deeper into the posture. And then if you'd like to start hinging forwards and kicking into the back hand, focus on reaching your left hand away from your body and kicking more fully into your right hand. The affirmation as you gaze straight forwards. While moving through life, I'm anchored in myself. While moving through life, I'm anchored in myself. For the final few breaths, see if you can stand a little brighter, a little fuller in your body, and then just relax into that expansion. Sort of growing into the form, and then on exhalation, you slowly transition out of the pose. Let's inhale and reset the body by sending arms up, going all the way down, forward fold. Inhale and lift halfway here. Work to straighten the legs a little bit more. Lengthen the spine. Tuck shoulders behind, and then exhale to slide down. And you can stand through the spine, or if you like to roll through the spine, feel free. And then inhale, arms come up to complete the breath. And then exhale, let them come down. Good, so we're going right to the other side. Again, start with left toes connected to the earth, hands and heart. You may choose to start extending the right hand. And if you can, go ahead and bend at the left knee, catching your ankle into your hand. This takes us into our dancer's pose. And kick fully into the backhand. You can let the lower spine really arch here so that it's pressing out in the region of the kidneys and the backside of the body. While moving through life, I'm anchored in myself. While moving through life, I'm anchored in myself. Just as we did on the other side, get a little brighter, a little more expansive before you're ready to leave the pose. And then you leave the pose on exhalation, slowly relaxing back and down. Good. Let's just take our breath by reaching arms above the head. And this time exhaling, sealing the hands in prayer, and then just release them by the hips to rest. Eyes are closed, and you're looking deeply to the spiritual eye. Make sure the weight is on the balls of your feet so that you're ready, awake. While moving through life, I am anchored in myself. You can slowly open the eyes. Let's come into tree pose. So you can start on your left side, turning out your left leg, foot is resting against the ankle. If you can get to the calf, you're welcome to pause here. If anyone would like to go above the knee and the body allows, just make sure you skip the knee. And hands come into the heart. Gentle pressure between the palms. Roll the shoulders up by the ears and then down and back so that you really feel yourself setting into this form. Hands can come above the head if the body allows. And find a single point on the wall to focus on. Let it be a calm but deliberate focus. The affirmation, I am calm, I am poised. I am calm, I am poised. Keep reaching through the crown of the head towards the hands in prayer, as though you were trying to lengthen the vertebrae in your spine. Final breath of aspiration. You reach the hands as high as they can go, and then exhale and just let them come out to either side and draw the knee down slowly. Good, we'll go right to the other side for tree pose. Once you feel that you're ready, you can step up maybe to the calf. Maybe go up to the thigh if that's where you'd like to be. Hands into the heart. So a little pressure between the palms is helpful for securing your balance. Let's make sure you roll the shoulders up and then down and back. So let the heart really open in this pose. If you fall out, you come right back in. Arms can go above the head if the body allows. And you find your one single point. Make sure that it's straight in front of you or even a little bit higher. Try not to look down at the ground. I am calm, I am poised. I am calm, I am poised. See, maybe if you can watch the next 2 or 3 breaths in the pose. It's natural for you to release. The inhale takes you brightening the posture. Exhale, slow, controlled release, nice and gentle. Good. Let's go ahead and we'll take the feet a little bit wider and hands are on the thighs. We're going to take deep breaths in and we're going to expel all the breath out before we move on. So deep breath in. All the breath out of the mouth. You can let the head and neck release. Some of us may pull the belly in and relax it out. Pull it in and relax it out. Pull it in, relax it out. Take a deep breath whenever you're ready. So we're exhaling, holding all the breath out. You're empty at the bottom, retaining breath out. Inhale as soon as you're ready to. We'll do one more round like this. Make sure you release the head and the neck, all the breath out, pulling the belly in, relaxing it out, pulling it in, relaxing it out. And when you're ready to stand tall, inhale and step feet back underneath. Let's take the hands up through the heart, finish the inhalation. Exhale, spread the arms out nice and wide. So 2 more times like this. Cleansing, clearing the magnetic field. Last time, very intentional. Let's close the eyes, look into the spiritual eye. That's the point between your eyebrows. Let's make sure we're rocking onto the balls of the feet. I am calm, I am poised. I am calm, I am poised. Om Shanti, Shanti, Shanti. We'll slowly open the eyes. Let's come into triangle pose. So stepping right foot back behind. Your front leg is staying nice and straight, engaging up through the leg. Take your left hand and draw it into the hip crease so that you can lean forwards here without bending the knee. We're just leaning forwards. Good. And then slide the hand where it naturally releases and flip the palm to face out from the inside of the thigh. Opposite arm goes up into the sky. We're using the strength of the belly and the spine to stay strong. Let's really awaken in this pose by reaching the arms away from each other, pushing the feet away from each other, lengthening up through the crown of the head. The affirmation, energy and joy flood my body cells. Joy descends to me. Energy and joy flood my body cells. Joy descends to me. You can go a little deeper maybe for the last few breaths here. Feel free to. Energy and joy flood my body cells. Joy descends to me. You ready to come out of the pose? Inhale to lengthen back up through long spine. Let's just turn onto the side of our mat so we're still in a wide stance. Reach both arms up to the sky. Good. Let's exhale. We're going to take hands onto the hips and just bow the head and heart forwards. Go as far as you'd like to. Good, we're coming back up. You can bend the knees and step the hands right above the knee on the thigh, and then squeeze the belly and stand back up through your tall spine. Good, nice arch of the spine. Let's come back through center and make sure you're at the front of your mat. And just take a moment to relax. Notice if you can feel any energy circulating in the body, greater awareness of the body as a whole. Good, and we'll come to the other side. You just take a step back with your left foot as you're ready. Front leg is straight. And some of us like to do a triangle pose with legs quite far apart. You're welcome to if you'd like, but just a step back is sufficient. And you draw the right hand, the webbing between thumb and index finger, just press into the hip a little bit so as to get yourself enough room to lean forward, and then release the bottom hand, palm facing from the inner thigh out and opposite arm up to the sky. Energy and joy flood my body cells. Joy descends to me. To the best of your ability, stay alive in your breath, especially when a posture is challenging. Make sure that you have freedom still to breathe. If you need to modify, feel free. And hold on to that affirmation like a life raft. Energy and joy flood my body cells. Joy descends to me. Again, before exiting the pose, get really bright in the body, bright in the spine, in the arms, expanding. And then when you're ready, you can exhale and gently release out of the pose. Top arm comes down and we just start to stand straight. Let's take feet wide, turning to our side, hands onto the hips, and just bow the heart and head forwards. Try to relax the jaw, especially so that we're not holding any counter tension. When you're ready to build up here, you have the option. You can roll up the spine, or you can bend the knees and press off of the thighs with strength in the belly. This is a nice way to get a little back bend as you rise. And then we'll just heel toe back to center. Let's turn the palms out, relax the shoulders down and back, and close the eyes. Again, always coming back to the pole star of our practice, the spiritual eye. If you notice you're resting back on the heels, very important, roll towards the ball of your foot. Good, and let's slowly open the eyes. So we're going to take our feet nice and wide off the edges of the mat, or you can stand sideways on your mat, and you're going to bend your knees, toes facing outward. Good. And instead of pushing your butt behind you, try to keep your hips centered underneath your shoulders. Hands are into the heart, okay? So let's do this together. You're going to reach your hands out. I want you to imagine that you're drawing energy up through the legs, up through the center of the spine, hands into prayer. And if you'd like, you can set them over your head, and we're going to take this as our mountain pose today. Gentle pressure between the palms. And you may opt to engage a little bit at the base of the spine, the pelvic floor gathering, muscles binding, and it creates a lock to send energy higher up the spine. The affirmation, I lift my thoughts and energy up to touch the sky. I lift my thoughts and energy up to touch the sky. When you're ready, ready to release out of the pose. Inhale and separate the palms wide, turn them out, and bathe the field around you. Nice fresh energy. Let's inhale and draw the hands up as we straighten the legs, and you can heel toe the feet. Come all the way up and above till you're back to center. Exhale, hands coming down. Let's just take a moment. Everything coming back to center, all of our energies, our awareness. Shanti, shanti, shanti. Peace, peace, peace. Slowly open the eyes. Last of our standing postures. We're going to take feet wide once more. This is a posture you might send them a little bit wider than you usually do. We're going to face our toes inward. So your heels are pointing out. It's very slight, just a little toe in. And you can brace on your thighs. Keep the spine long for as long as you can. Folding forward, using the muscles of the belly. Crown of the head is the place that we're aiming through, reaching forwards. You stay here maybe for a few breaths, and at some point exhale and release forwards into the forward fold position. Make sure your head and your neck release. The affirmation, I relax and cast aside all mental burdens. I relax and cast aside all mental burdens. You might note all of the energy flowing into the brain. Check in with the expression on the face, the energy in the jaw, the low back as well. This is another posture that radically transforms if you shift the weight towards the ball of the foot rather than so heavy on the heels. Good. And we're actually going to take our transition from this pose by bending the knees enough to set the hands on the ground and just walk your feet back to center, and we'll come right through downward facing dog. So hips go to the sky. You're pressing out of your hands, looking towards your lap. If you need a little bend of one knee and then the other, if the backside of the knees feels tight, feel free. And it's your choice how you'd like to transition, but we're going to join the toes together and we're going to end up in a lunge. So if you'd like, free your left foot behind you and reach it up towards the sky, and then step all the way up between the hands. Leave the back knee raised for just a moment, coming onto the tips of the fingers. Back knee and back leg are strong. Good, let's start with a twist here. So you can take your hand is down on the earth, and just twist open to the side. There. Nice deep breathing, getting some twist energy in the body. Now whenever you feel ready, you can drop the back knee down. Good. And we're just going to stand strong by waving the back arm behind us. Come through standing position. Good. And we're going to stay in the twist for a moment here. Now as you feel ready to, you can slide onto your forearm. Some of us may be able to hook the elbow on the outside of the thigh, and your opposite arm will come around to meet on top of that. So get nice and stable in your pose. Now, if you feel compelled to lift the back leg in this posture, you might experiment. Puts considerable amount of challenge on the body, so be mindful. And again, just like every posture, inhale and brighten the body, lengthen, expand in every direction, and then you can slowly start to come out of the position. Let's free the hands down and behind us, and then inhale to sweep up. We're going to remain here in our modified Warrior One position. You can let your hips release forwards a little bit here. We'll use the affirmation for Warrior One. I attune my will to the source of all power. I attune my will to the source of all power. Good. Inhale to brighten through the arms. Exhale to expand, hands back down to the earth. So we're coming back through our downward facing dog, any which way you'd like. Just take a moment here. Now, when you feel ready, you can come into child's pose or stay in downward facing dog for the whole duration of this rest. It's your choice. Depends how active you want your practice to be. In either case, let the breath return you back to homeostasis, a balance point. Actively calm, calmly active. Keep the awareness sharp, engaged. Yet all the muscles are relaxed, the mind is relaxed. Now when you're ready to, we're coming to set for the other side, so you can slowly rise out of your child's pose. If you're in downward facing dog, we'll all meet you there. The toes are touching together. This time you're sending your right foot all the way up to the sky, and then stepping between the hands. Back knee is staying lifted. Come onto the tips of the fingers if you can, or you just stay on palms. Good. And you're going to go ahead and free the right arm up to the sky so that you're twisting. Again, when it feels natural, you drop the back knee down and you just start to stand through the spine. So you come into a neutral position, hand resting on the knee, other hand behind you, and you can look over to the side. Just keep the twist in the body. Feel stabilized, you can lean down onto the forearm. If you can get the elbow on the inside of the thigh, you might experiment there. but not by torquing the body. It's just really a rest point. And if you can join the hands together, you're welcome to. If you're on forearm, just rest down here. You can stack the hands together if you're hooking your elbow. Just imagine that your energy from the base of the spine is spiraling up. So even as you're twisting, you're still lengthening forwards or lengthening upwards towards the crown of the head. If you want to tuck the toes of the back foot underneath, now's your chance, and lift the knee and come into your lunge and twist. Just be mindful, this pose requires quite a bit of core strength, so take your time building up to it. And we'll all eventually, by inhaling, come through the center of the pose and then send the arms up above the head. And you can lean forwards a little bit here if you'd like to. Nice deep breath. The affirmation, I attune my will to the source of all power. I attune my will to the source of all power. Fully engaged in the pose, inhaling to expand outward, palms coming out of the way, hands coming back down to the earth. And you just take your step back and come into downward facing dog if you'd like. Some of us are ready to come right into child's pose, so you find what you're looking for. If you're in downward facing dog, let your heels melt towards the earth and focus on pushing out of the top side of your palm. So you're really pressing the earth from the hands and settling down in the heels. And each one of us in our own time will come back to child's pose for rest. Affirmation for child's pose. I relax from outer involvement into my inner haven of peace. I relax from outer involvement into my inner haven of peace. Find your inner sanctuary. Let's gently recall our awareness back to the body. We're going to finish our practice today with two rather strong postures. They'll balance each other out. So we're going to come down onto our bellies, any which way that you'd like. We're setting up for bow pose. Then lower yourself down. Good. Make a little position with your elbows, a Sphinx pose. Elbows come underneath the shoulders, and then bend the knees. And this may be plenty for you. You may just stay here, and this would be a nice modification for bow. Now, if you feel compelled and you'd like to try reaching one of your arms back, this can be a nice place to just test if your body is ready for a bow pose. Good, and then try other side. So use your front arm at a diagonal. That way it's supportive, and then reach behind you. If you feel like the half bow is accessible and you want to go a little deeper, just free your arms behind you and start by kicking into the hands. Now, important here, push down into your pelvic bone. So push your pelvic bone into the earth, and this should help you to lift your legs a little higher, lift your feet a little higher. Good. The affirmation, I recall my scattered energies to recharge my spine. I recall my scattered energies to recharge my spine. Feel everything returning to the spine. I recall my scattered energies to recharge my spine. Let's take a rest before we come back in once more. You can just take the legs and knees still bent, wave them side to side. Good, and when you're ready, you can set up for your second round. You may be more interested in just resting for the second round, but if you'd like to come into the pose again, remember, start by kicking into the hands and push down through your pelvic bone. It's this fulcrum for this pose, or the balance point. Draw your knees close together, inner thighs close together. I recall my scattered energies to recharge my spine. I recall my scattered forces to recharge my spine. You come down when you're ready to. And we're going to go ahead and come right into child's pose as a transition. Just come and rest here. Take a nice deep rest. You can also rest in Vajrasana or the hero's pose, sitting over the ankles. I recall my scattered forces to recharge my spine. It might be interesting to watch the spine very closely. To note if you can sense anything about it in this moment. Recall my scattered forces to recharge my spine. Now when you're ready, you can slowly exit your child's pose. We're just going to slide our feet out in front of the body so we can come onto the earth. We're coming into plow position. So if you're familiar, feel free to dive right in. But we're just resting onto our back, knees in towards the chest. And this is probably the simplest modification, to hold your knees in towards your chest and rest. Now if you'd like to go a little further, you extend your feet over your face and reach maybe towards your ankles, but rest on your upper back. This is called tranquility pose. and it's a great precursor to plow. If you want to come into the full pose, just make sure you're not in it if you're watching me, so that your neck doesn't bear any weight. But you push off of your elbows and press your feet all the way behind you and hold on to your hips. Some of us, our feet may come down towards the earth. That's perfectly fine. If they don't, that's also perfectly fine. And the affirmation in this pose: new life, new consciousness, now flood my brain. New life, new consciousness, now flood my brain. Make sure you can look up and down with your nose, that you have a little wiggle room in the back of the neck. You don't want it to be flat on the ground. Your neck has a natural curve that's needed here. Now you can stay here longer if you'd like. You can also slowly lower out of the pose. And the third option is to take 1 foot at a time and to reach the feet up and towards the sky. So you're holding onto your hips and you end up in a supportive shoulder stand. It's quite natural out of a plow. And you stay in these postures as long as it feels comfortable. If you come down and your spine feels a little uncomfortable, especially the low back, just bend the knees with feet anchored on the earth and wave your knees side to side. This will flush the low spine. This is also a good time as you're exiting these final postures just to take a moment of introspection, shutting down the eyes, maybe finding a position that you can rest in. Now, if you feel ready to, you might even enter into the final resting position, Shavasana, which would be legs extended long, palms facing up. It's great to have a blanket in this pose, so if you do have a blanket close by, just lay it over the body. Got you. There's also the option, if anyone would like to spend the final moments of their practice in seated meditation, you can go ahead and rise into a comfortable position that you can maintain for a little while here. As you start to settle into the pose, soften the body, let the body relax over the earth, and we'll pull all of our attention to the spiritual eye. As you continue to relax, you may choose to mentally affirm Om Shanti as you look to the spiritual eye, and just let those sacred vibrations wash through your body. Om Shanti. We'll take some time in silence now. Slowly start to bring our awareness back, allowing the breath to deepen. And in perfect stillness, feeling currents of energy flowing through your body. Looking back through the spiritual eye. Following your own intuition, begin to slowly return back to your body. More and more deliberately until breath is deepening, hands and feet are perhaps starting to engage, and working your way even to the point where you're reaching arms overhead behind you. Any little movements that you need. If you're in meditation, just remain perfectly still. We'll all meet in meditation in our own time. So take your time coming out of Shavasana. As you do arrive in your seated pose, take a double inhalation and tense the body. And throw the breath out. Again. One more time. And release. Palms facing up. We'll draw the chin towards the throat and reach to the crown of the head. Let's use the mantra Om Shanti, or Om Peace. Repeating them at the spiritual eye. Om Shanti. Om Shanti. Let's gently join the hands together in prayer position over the heart. And we'll close with an affirmation before our prayers for others. This affirmation is for the root in the spine, helps us to stay grounded and connected with the earth. So repeat after me as you're ready. You can say it inwardly at this point in the practice. I go forth in perfect faith of omnipresent good to give me what I need when I need it. I go forth in perfect faith of omnipresent good to give me what I need when I need it. And the last time, with deep concentration, impressing it at the spiritual eye, I go forth in perfect faith of omnipresent good to give me what I need when I need it. Let's take a moment just to breathe that in. We'll begin our prayers for others. So if there's a particular person in your life that you'd like to pray for, you could use physical, mental, emotional, or spiritual healing. You can call them into your mind right now and see them enveloped in a field of light, surrounding their body and fused in every one of their cells. Filling their mind, awakening their soul. Let's gently rub the palms together, just enough to get some friction going. And you can extend the palms out. Relax the entire body, looking through the spiritual eye, and feel yourself as a channel. We'll send Om 3 times to these souls and also to the planet. Deep breath to begin. Just a final Om for the whole planet. A deep breath to begin. Join the hands together in prayer when you're ready. May this world be filled with peace and harmony, peace and harmony. We bow to the divine nature within ourselves, within all beings, by saying Namaste. Namaste. Take your time coming back. Thank you all so much for being here this morning and practicing and sending your healing prayers into the world. It's very important. So have a wonderful day, and we will see you next time. Namaste.